You're listening to the BOTB Football Show with TJ Weber.
Let me tell you something. I'm on fire. You better listen to me. If you want to win this week, listen to TJ Weber.
Zach Zook.
I think that they're going to come out and just absolutely shit rail the Eagles.
Big Webb.
Where's the beer?
And Nick Yale.
Yeah, that was huge.
And welcome into the BOTB Football Show live from Cafe Telegraph here at 2650 Telegraph Road in St. Louis, Missouri. It's TJ Weber. It's Tony Weber. It's Zach Zook. Nick Yale's nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
Where'd he
See
go?
you later, Nick.
Where did he go?
He's gone. He's partying. He's got too much going on here.
Yeah, the king is dead.
He's on some beach south of here, I think.
Yeah, I think it's something like that, a little bit. I mean,
This is,
he's in Cape Girardeau, so
there's a
glad he
beach.
missed for a big-time get there.
There's a
I was there
beach
for
down
2
there.
years. It's not that nice.
More like a flood wall, I think.
Yeah, it really is. So,
I love Cape. I always say hello to our fans in Cape Girardeau. And Nick, good morning.
yeah, I'm sure Nick is watching. I'm sure he's sitting there in bed, hungover in Cape Girardeau. So I appreciate he's really dedicated to the program. I'm really glad he's here and made the trip up. So, Nick, yep, we'll see you there. I don't know if you're going to be on the phone. Still hasn't responded to me. So shout out to Nick. Guys,
He's sleeping, man.
he's definitely sleeping. Yeah, he literally texted me. I said, he's like, it's a 50-50 shot whether I make it today. And I said, okay, I'll put that at about 20% you make it. I text him at 9:45, you on your way? He goes, haven't left Cape. I go, okay, we'll do the show without you. Sounds good. So good to see you. But anyway, so shout out to Nick on his way back from Cape Girardeau. We'll hopefully have him on the phone. If not, we do have his picks ready to rock. Guys, week 4 of the NFL is now here. Woohoo. And before we get into it, however, we just want to let you know we have some fantastic sponsors: Cafe Telegraph, K. Roberts from Remax Gold, Family Finance Mortgage, and St. Louis Distillery. Dad, you know a lot about Remax Gold and K. Roberts as well, and also Family Finance, don't you?
TJ, I sure do, buddy. I tell you what, Kay Roberts, we talk about different parts of her business, and one of them that is really interesting is like the inspection process. You know, when you're going to get into this very soon here, that when they come in and inspect a home, Kay's set up with a lot of good people to do that, and they'll take a look at a house. You're buying a house, they'll make sure everything's right. They'll go in there, they'll say, look, this water heater's not covering it. This roof's not covering it. This has got a termite situation. And she's been doing it so long, and these people they're working with are done this so long for inspections. She takes care of you in that way also. So there's a lot of different ways.
You need different people too, whether it's they're looking at the pipes, whether they're looking at the roof. So those connections are really a big deal.
Absolutely, and she helps you get a better product down the road for the work that she does in preparation for your purchase. K. Roberts, Remax Gold, 314-409-4113. Give her a call.
Again, shout out to them. Shout out to St. Louis Distillery. You can find them online at stldistillery.com. As we've always mentioned that, St. Louis Distillery obviously has some fantastic spirits, as well as we always mention the brew vodka that we keep talking about. It's delicious. It's actually distilled, guys, from craft beer, something that has never been done before. So you got to go over there. If you mention Brews on the Balcony, you get a free tour and a free tasting of the spirits. I mean, why would you not go over there and give it a shot? Once again, that's STL Distillery, stldistillery.com.
Let's throw it out here to Family Finance Mortgage also, Sarah Barron. She does refis, regular mortgage loans. She does awesome service too. She sits down with you, finds out exactly what you're looking for, where you're coming from on your purchase, and she will help you immensely. Family Finance Mortgage, Sarah Barron, familyfinancemortgage.com. That's 314-537-1282.
Also, shout out to big fan of the BOTB Football Show, Mr. Nick Tolley, who just walked into the Cafe Telegraph studios here. Obviously, he's got a Patriots shirt on and a Yankees hat. How does that make you feel?
He's an
Dad?
East Coast guy.
People are always asking him, how do you become a Patriots fan and then a Yankees fan at the same time? And he said he lived, near Buffalo, right, Tolley? And then they blacked out the Buffalo games, correct? Or is it just they sucked? They didn't sell out, so there was a blackout. So they only had Patriots game on. So that's where you become a Patriots fan as a New Yorker. But at the same time, if somebody just saw him walking down the street, I mean, he's the worst guy of all time. Like, all you got to do is give him an Alabama undershirt, and he's just like Mr. Superfan. So, I mean, well, definitely, we have to have Tolley on the show later to explain himself.
You know how you can tell Tolley's an East Coast guy? Hey, Tolley, blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
Yeah, I don't even think they sell ranch where
Is that
Tyler's
right?
from. They'll look at you.
It's like a
sideways.
sin. You get like arrested if you even ask for it or
If
something.
you try to have ranch on your wings, it's a big sin.
And if you're a California guy, it's Blue Chunks. Good morning, everybody.
Welcome in. So shout out to Tali for coming out here. Obviously, shout out to everybody that's been coming out here for the last 4 weeks. 2650 Telegraph Road, you're always welcome to come by. If you don't come here for the show, however, we'll be here all day watching football. I, however, will have to be out. Quick shout out to my wife. Happy anniversary to her. It's our first anniversary, so I was told I can barely look at my phone today. So there we go.
The rules are rules.
Rules are
Happy
rules.
anniversary to you, Webb. And
Appreciate
Laura.
it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so hopefully I get some wins by not watching football. Maybe it's one of those things where if I win this week, I maybe not watch the whole rest of the season. I mean, if I become king and get the crown, I might not watch. Who knows?
Well, you can just come up here with your eyes closed and sign autographs then.
There you go. That's what I could do. Wear a blindfold or something. All right, guys, let's get into some storylines here. Obviously, we talked last week a little bit about Daniel Jones and his first start going into it. I don't think anybody imagined what he was going to do in that game. I mean, I said 2 touchdowns, 250 yards. He went, over 350 and 3 touchdowns? I mean, and a rushing touchdown as well. So he was on fire. This week, I'd like to focus, first of all, on Melvin Gordon. That was the big-time story coming into from the offseason besides Antonio Brown going to the Raiders before his whole thing happened. But now Melvin Gordon's back. And they say that he's going to get some snaps today, which obviously hurts a lot of owners if you have Austin Eckler out there. He's been fantastic for them. What do you guys think about, these running backs, or not even just these running backs, but these players holding out? Sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. But does it make you look weak in the future for contract situations if you come back? You see the whole different spectrum where Le'Veon Bell sits out the whole year. Zeke kind of whines about it. He gets what he wants, but then Melvin Gordon is kind of like, okay, I'll come back. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird how it works.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it makes it more of a fragile situation, okay? These companies, and it's a football team is a company, okay? So they're counting on this guy being a solid player, doing what he did the year before and prior, and if the guy's holding out for that, first of all, a contract's a contract, right? So you sign a contract with somebody, you got to live up to your side of it. And these guys, because they're superstars, are holding out for more money and not living up to their contract. I don't like that in general, but I understand why the owners would look at that guy, or the whole league would look at that guy as fragile in the future. That whole connection is fragile because when's this guy going to bow out on me again?
Well, and here's what I think, too. I mean, not all holdouts are created equal, and with the Melvin Gordon holdout, it ends up being one of the more pointless holdouts, I think, in the last decade, just from the fact that, like Big Web was saying, if you're going to hold out and you're going to miss games, you're going to miss 3 games and come back.
Right.
Like, what the fuck was the point of that?
Exactly.
So it was really kind of pointless, and I get that Melvin wants his money, but when he looked like a bust his rookie year, did the Chargers ask for a part of his salary back?
Exactly.
So I don't know. And when you look at it from the Chargers side of things, he had to know he was never going to get that extension because the Chargers went 3-1 with Austin Eckler in his absence. He has had an injury history, and Austin Eckler, all he's done has been a top 5 fantasy football running back. From that side of things, they've been totally fine with him and Justin Jackson. Their record is not reflective of Melvin Gordon being absent from the backfield. So,
and the other,
so I think he's a nice guy. I think it's obviously just about money, but I don't think he was ever going to get that contract. So if you were gonna hold out and not try work out a deal in good faith throughout the season, I think you gotta be prepared to miss the whole thing. And he really didn't have much of a plan.
I think the other thing that we're learning is these running backs and these great players are part of the system. They're part of the team they're on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Le'Veon Bell. He goes to the Jets, and that delayed running style, which I've always hated that. Delayed running style is great when you got a huge offensive line in front of you and a good team all around you. He doesn't have that in New York, so that gives the owners more of an advantage. Like, hey, you know what? We can put in an Eckler.
Right.
We can put in another guy with our system, and we're not going to miss that much.
Well, that's what happened with James Conner last year. He came right in and did, just as good as Bell ever did. So that kind of told the Steelers, like, we don't need Le'Veon Bell, so let him, cry and let him go do whatever. We'll get rid of him. I mean, that's the thing it is. And for me, I don't understand how, these guys obviously are like lottery ticket winners. They go in and there's like millions of people that would love to be in their spot and be professional athletes. And I understand that they still get hit tax-wise and there's still a business, but if you sign a contract, go play your contract. Like
Right.
that's I've never understood that. Zook, you kind of seem like you may not, agree with that. I'm just curious what the thought process is in with them, I guess.
No, I mean, well, I get it from the point of you're a running back, and when you're drafted in the first round, they have 5 years of rookie control over you. However, I am a little bit less sympathetic and more in agreement towards you on these first-round picks. It's not exactly like he's on a $500K salary like Dak would be. He was getting paid millions of dollars as a first-round draft pick out of the University of Wisconsin. So it's not exactly like he has been, poor. But the point where I understand the argument a little bit is they get run into the ground their first 5 years, then they'll either franchise tag you or let you go, and then nobody else wants to give you a very big contract, and boom, you're out of the league. Because of the turnover of the position and the lack of longevity and job security, I understand the urgency to get a long-term second contract in place if you have been a star. But in Melvin Gordon's case, again, that's why you have to take them all on an individual basis. In the position that you play does matter. But no, I'm with you. Play out your contract. You sign the damn thing. Now, when you're a rookie, you don't really have much of a choice over that. But again, you were getting paid millions of dollars per year to play in the NFL. So. And he had a lucrative extension on the table from the Chargers that he said, nope, not good enough, and didn't sign. So it's hard to have sympathy for him.
And when I do think about it, I understand if they get drafted and they have their rookie contract and then they become like the best athlete at their position in the NFL. I could see where people can get in their heads and say, look, go get your money, which then in that instance, you go into Jerry's office if you're Zeke, or you kind of figure out that I am the best at this position. I do deserve it. I can kind of see where Jerry would say, you know what, you're right. We got to make you happy because you're a damn good athlete. But it's kind of back and forth with me. But mainly, if you have a contract, go out and play your contract. And if you're good enough, unfortunately, injuries happen. But if you're good enough, you're going to get the money you want in the future. And to me, the holdout stuff just makes owners pissed off, even if you're a great athlete and they don't want you on the team. And so I don't know. It's kind of an interesting situation.
Yeah, it's a gamble. Like a guy could say to his agent, okay, look, you know what? I think I'm going to be a stud in 2 years. Let's just sign a 2-year deal. Well, everybody wants the longest deal they can get, right? So they're going to give them the longest deal they can. But you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They might say, okay, here's our contract. But you know what? Handshake, man. If I'm at this level, may or may not be in writing. Can we renegotiate in 2022? I don't know how much of that goes on, but I deal with contracts every day, man. You got to go by what you sign.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, too, is about the personality, and it's about leverage, too. The Zeke situation and the Melvin situation are completely different because of the leverage. What did we say? He's had injuries, didn't do as well when the Chargers weren't as good, and the team wins without him. Well, if you take Zeke away from the Cowboys, I don't think they're anywhere close
Whole different
to
piece.
to the level that they are at.
Yep.
And nobody would put Melvin Gordon on the same tier, I don't think, as Zeke or Le'Veon. He's not even probably a part of that top crop of guys. There's maybe 3 or 4 of them, Todd Gurley pre-injury, that he's not that good. So when those guys are struggling to get paid, I just thought that it's hard to judge ourselves sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, so another situation that we've kind of gone back and forth on, and I know Nick would like to chime in if he was here, but Jalen Ramsey and the whole situation going on in Jacksonville. I mean, a guy that has obviously said he's demanding a trade. He wants to be traded. Been playing, though, with Jacksonville. Now he's saying he's sick. Now he's saying, I think he had a kid actually this week too. But, I mean, besides the kid situation, he seems like he's making excuses to try to stay away from camps, try to stay away from practice. What are you guys' thoughts on Jalen Ramsey?
The owners can't let this kind of game be played. They've got to look. If the guy's a superstar and he wants to do a contract holdout in the beginning of the year, we've had some history on those, and some have worked, some have not. This kind of games that he's playing, the whole league will go crazy. It'll go insane if they allow this kind of stuff. This guy needs to show up and play football.
Right.
So we talked about this on the midweek show a little bit a couple weeks ago, and in terms of his contract situation, he didn't hold out, but he very begrudgingly showed up to camp. Do you remember the whole video with he showed up in a Brinks truck and had, one of his buddies holding up a loudspeaker talking about how they were going to get the bag and everything like that. And so then it takes, 3 weeks for them to now get to the point where he wants out of Jacksonville, he wants to be traded. And then they play the primetime game, and they get a win over the Titans, in which he played and played well. And I thought that if it was based off the fight that he had on the sidelines with Doug Marrone, that I thought that they'd get over that and be able to kind of grow from that and put it behind them, because football's such an emotional game. But to your point, Big Web, I think it is a little bit more about the financial side, and I'm not sure what really the deal is there. He had the kid, and then he's got the back injury. He was on the team playing, and he's listed as questionable. So I think it's a wait-and-see game in Jacksonville. I kind of like how they're approaching it, because if you just say, you know what, we're done with him, we're putting him on the block, then you kind of lose your leverage in the trade, because they know you have to get rid of him. So when they hang on to him, and the more they win and the more he plays, I think it helps Jacksonville's case to trade him and get more value for him. I can think of a team in Philadelphia that could really use a corner right now.
There you go. But I just, it's the chaos that I worry about. We all love the organization that a Belichick brings, and just the solidity. When these guys are making millions of dollars, I don't care what sport it is, when they're making millions of dollars, they're pretty much ruling the roost. But if you have a guy that's got the respect of his team, that's when we as fans all love it, because they got it going on. And something like this Ramsey thing could start chaos and cancer throughout the league and just turn into the Wild Wild West, and I hate that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I've said I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't trade for him. And it's not about his on-field stuff. He's been kind of a pain in the ass, and he's been in the league for like 3-4 years. He hasn't been a pain in the ass legally like Zeke, but he has really caused some problems and been a bit of a loudmouth really since he got into the league. So I totally agree with you.
Real quick before we get into our final storyline, there's like one that you might want to go off on a little bit. On Thursday, the Packers lose to the Eagles. It just shows you just how great this league is. I mean, not that the Packers lost, but the fact that the Eagles have been terrible and they come into Lambeau and beat them outright. In regards to a couple of those pass interference calls that not only were called but then were challenged by the Packers, were still not overturned. What are your thoughts on, fans are going crazy on Twitter about the fact that these pass interference calls are happening, are challenged, and then it's obvious on the challenge if you see it that it's pass interference and they're still not being called. Does the NFL really know what pass interference is? I mean, honestly,
no. They have no
referees
idea.
have no idea.
They have no clue. And this is why I hated when they announced this rule at the end of last year. And you did too. You're in my camp with this, that they should not make that reviewable.
Right.
You should not make penalties 100% reviewable.
No.
I understand where the college game is coming from with targeting, because you're talking about an ejection and potentially, if it's in the second half, a suspension of the first half of the next week. I understand why you'd review that. But when you start reviewing like pass interference,
it's kind of odd.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing?
I agree.
And they had the body weight rule. There have been a ton of just gross overreactions to situations that the NFL has been dealt. Like they came up with the body weight rule because Anthony Barr dead-fished Aaron Rodgers in Minnesota and broke his collarbone, and they had a bunch of quarterback injuries that year. So they go put in the body weight rule, and they really cracked down on roughing the passer, and there were a million bad calls from that, and it's still going on, and now it's just completely inconsistent. You're seeing the same thing happening with pass interference. Al Riveron, it just depends on whatever mood he's in that day, if he's going to overturn it or if he's going to stay with it.
Yeah, for sure.
The first one that they had, it was on the right sideline, and if you didn't watch the Thursday game, bad radio, but he's not playing the ball. He's turned towards the receiver, has his hand in his chin, and he's pushing him out of bounds.
Yeah. Oh, it was blatant.
It was blatant.
Yeah, and if you didn't see it the first time, then you're like, okay, good, they're challenging it. Because
right.
Myself, I had Rodgers on my fantasy team, so I'm sitting there rooting for the Packers, and I'm like, okay, good, they're going to root for it. They're going to look at it. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Right.
And then they look at it like in 15 different angles and still don't call it. It's wild.
And if you look at the statistics on how this was called, small sample size in the preseason, but what had happened when they had challenged, if there was no pass interference on the play, the percentage that they would go back and add it was higher than if there was pass interference. You challenge it and they'll go take it away.
Right.
So they were on the right side of that, and when they came back and said that it stood, I could not believe it.
That was unreal.
And
Yeah.
it was one of 3 in the game that were extremely questionable. And I just think it begs the question, what are we doing? What are we doing? You're over officiating the game. The officials are way too much a part of football right now, and I hate it. And it's not the officials' fault because the rules are so complicated, it's impossible to call it consistently.
Yeah, for sure. And it's annoying to see a flag on like every other play, but it happens. And I can't imagine as a defensive player, sometimes when the head-to-head hits happen, obviously that's a blatant call, and sometimes they get ejected and everything. It's the way it has to be. But there are some plays where they're just kind of like not even holding, just kind of have their arms on them to get a feel for them and cover them. In the NFL, you got some of the fastest guys in the world out in that league on a receiver, and you're sitting there trying to cover them. I put one hand on them, it's pass interference or holding. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
This thing all started with the New Orleans Rams game, right?
Oh, yeah.
So after that blatant hit, so they said, okay, we need to do something about this. We need to put something institute a situation where if it's totally blatant, we're going to be able to call up to New York. Hey, take a look. Let's time out. We're going to take a look at this. It's possible blatant miscall. And that's how the thing was supposed to go. But what they did wrong was that now they got a flag and ticky-tack pass interference calls, and they got the solution wrong. Mm-hmm. They should leave it as an extreme thing. Hey, we missed this. Let's send it up to New York before another play's run. And that's how the thing was supposed to go, and that's not how they got it set up.
Last one I got, an interesting story. So this was kind of talked about, I believe, in the preseason. The NFL had been putting out an 18-game season proposal. So it would be 19 weeks, I believe, 18 games, add 2 more. But it sounds like they're now dropping that and targeting a 17-game regular season. What are you guys' thoughts on the owners kind of looking at making it 1 more week instead of 16 games?
Well, if you don't think your wife is pissed off enough with 16 weeks, man, come on. No, I think we got enough football games. I'd leave it right where it is.
The thing is, too, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it would change. The Super Bowl is always the first Sunday of February, always. And I feel like people kind of plan for that, and they have, like, that's the routine. Like, if you're a football fan, first Sunday of February is the Super Bowl. That's how it works. Well, and it could change. I mean, it's kind of weird.
If you push it back to the second Sunday, you're running into Valentine's Day potentially.
Now you're really getting in trouble. Now you're really getting the wife pissed off. Yeah. And I mean, you want to talk about another week of the NFL, plus you forget Valentine's Day because you're focused on the Super Bowl bet you're going to put in. That's just a slippery slope.
Happy Valentine's Day, honey. What'd you get me? Oh, just this? What's wrong with you? Well, we lost on the Giants,
We put extra money on a parlay. It just didn't work out, sweetheart. Sorry about that.
Love ya.
Hey, football season is 5 more months. You got me for 5 months. You're good to go.
XFL starting up.
Yeah, I was about to say, XFL starting. So year-round football.
Honey, don't worry. NFL's over. XFL starts next week. Okay, I'll see you later. I'll go get the milk.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think that if anything, I'd like to see them just cut out the preseason or make the preseason 1 or 2 games. I think you're fine at 16. If it's not broke, don't fix it. The NFL's king. The ratings have never been higher. Again, Roger Goodell just doing shit he probably shouldn't be doing. And I bet you they vote to pass it, too, because...
You think so?
I mean, are you going to watch a 17th game?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
we all would.
We all will.
Now, does that turn, though, when guys are, they're sitting them in week 17? Do you think they start sitting them in, it's a later week? So do you think teams start, kind of tanking the last 2 games instead of the final game? Because if they're already in, why not tank the last 2 instead of 1? So I bet the teams that are really good are going to hate this. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but... It's only going to be if you have like a 2-game lead on the division or seeding. I find it hard to believe that there wouldn't be any seeding implications week 17 knowing you had another game to play.
True.
Because you would have to be over 2 games ahead, I think, to be safe instead of 1 game ahead last week of the season. So, I don't think that's as much of an issue, but I think if they did do the 17 game schedule, I think they would cut back on the preseason, which I wouldn't hate it. It's 1 extra game. I just think that when they have the schedule set up in a way that I think makes sense and is fair, with you play each team in the division, that's six a year, 60 or 16 games, then the other 10 games are pulled from other divisions and it rotates. And I like the way they have it set up now. I think you'd introduce a lot of chaos if you put in a 17th game. I just think it's fine the way it is.
What do you guys think out there? Shields, Tolly, thumbs up on another week of the NFL or no? What do you think? Yes or no? Emily says hell no. There you go. That's the woman's perspective right there. Forget another week of football.
The thumbs up too.
Says
shocking.
My fiance does nothing on Sunday except watch football. No more weeks of football. All right. We're here at Cafe Telegraph, 2650 Telegraph Road. Guys, if you're watching at home, thank you for watching on Facebook Live. You're always welcome to get involved. You can also leave us voicemails always at 314-877-8597. All right, let's get into the pick standings. We're not going to go with the panel yet, but we're going to go ahead and go with the total picks for everybody in the BOTB Pick'em. Jake Scott currently leading the way. He had 12 wins last week. 12 wins. Woo. Big time pick. 30 total this season. Mark Hessler still in second, tied with Colby Wedwick. They both are in double digits last week, so they have 29 currently. Let's see. Joe Knoll currently in fourth with 28. Andrew Sherping has 27. And then you have Mike Pappas and Nick What Up Y'all at 26. I'm at 25. So there you go. I mean, it's pretty close, obviously, through the first 3 weeks, but you got guys at the top that have been pretty consistent. They've had 2 weeks now that they've had double digits, and, it's one of those things where you just have to get hot in the middle of the season. It's still anybody's pick 'em. Like right now, currently at the bottom, where's Dad? No, I'm just kidding. You got 22 right now. You're doing better.
22's
That's your number. That's your
my
football
old number, baby. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
I tell you guys all the time.
Well, Big Web, I'm slipping back to you. My picks couldn't have been colder throughout the first couple weeks. So
it's a long season, man. It's a long season. But
that's right.
I'm standing in solidarity with Big Web. I've gotten them wrong on purpose.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, just to make him feel better. Is that what it is?
Smart
yeah,
man.
That's
You're
what
smart
it is.
Man, Zuck.
So shout out to Jake Scott. Congrats on having 30 wins. It's pretty good. I mean, that's an average of 10 per week. That's not bad.
Couldn't be me.
Now, it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. I mean, it's a long season. Things change. I mean, it's the NFL, so look out.
Has he been gambling? I hope he has.
Yeah, I wonder if he has been, honestly. Now, again, it's different because we forgot to mention we do go with the OddsShark spreads, oddshark.com. A lot of the spreads we do with the BOTB Pick'em is CBS, so if anybody doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, CBS Sports comes out with a spread on Tuesday, and no matter what happens, like let's say that the Patriots are playing the Bills, Tom Brady gets hurt. He's not. Let's just say he gets hurt. The line's going to change. CBS Sports keeps it the same. So it's kind of changes it if you're betting money. So so let's go to top fantasy pickups. Now, before we get to ours, we do have somebody that called in. He calls himself the fantasy football expert. Now, when you go out and put yourself as a fantasy football expert, we got to put you on the show. You have to put put your money where your mouth is. Let's see what you got. Let's put you out there to the audience and see what it is.
The panel's picks too for fantasy have been pretty red hot, so the bar has been set high.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's got.
See what he's got.
What's up, Bruce, TJ, Nick? It's Hayden. I'm going to call and give you a couple locks of the week. I'm actually going to give you 2 locks. I see you guys are a little ahead of me, but first lock of the week. Chiefs -7. Darius Slay is a little bit banged up, so I definitely see them covering the spread there.
Not a chance.
Not to mention they're indoor, and Mahomes is just a cheat code. Second lock of the week, I'm going to go with the Cowboys -2.5. I know Brady Luther is definitely not going to make that pick, so I tried to stay clear of him. But give me the boys -2.5. And I am going to sprinkle a little bit on the Redskins money line because I think they have a pretty good shot at beating the Giants today. Studs of the week, give me all the Chiefs offense, mostly Sammy Watkins. He's really kind of struggled since he had that huge breakout game. But I think with Slay a little bit banged up, I could see him having a monster game, and probably Hardman too. So yeah. Sounds good. Give me a call, or I'd love to come on the show sometime. Take care, guys. See ya.
All right, Hayden. So there you go. He's got his locks. Chiefs -7, Cowboys -2.5, Redskins money line over the Giants, and he likes the entire Chiefs offense, including Sammy Watkins. So
who doesn't?
I mean, that's it. So Hayden, we'll keep you in the loop, man. Like I said, we might have Hayden writing some fantasy football blogs. He's a good dude. He's obviously knows his fantasy football. You can tell by the way he's passionate about it on the voicemail. I'm interested. What do you guys think about his picks and Sammy Watkins?
Well, I'm not a big fan of the Redskins this week. They stung me. Everything else sounded okay. I just don't like his Redskins money line.
Yeah.
I like the Giants in that game, but as far as a fantasy pickup in that game, it sounds like Terry McLaurin is still going to play. I think he's pretty much owned in most of the leagues, but if he wouldn't, and I think he's questionable, right? Or is he healthy?
He was hit or miss. I saw him as questionable, and I don't know. I really don't know where his status is.
Last I heard Wednesday, Thursday, I thought he was trending downward, but I believe he's come back a little bit. Regardless, if he doesn't play, Paul Richardson, I think, is a good play this week.
I think Chris Thompson, too, mainly because I have him. But Chris Thompson.
I have Chris Thompson as
week.
well on my bench. But, Paul Richardson would then be their top pass catcher in that offense against the Giants secondary that is historically bad. I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game, actually, for how bad both the teams are. So whether it's McLaurin or Richardson, whoever the top pass catcher is going to be for the Redskins, I think will have a pretty big week.
Big Web, your thoughts on any fantasy players?
You know who I like this week, TJ, is DJ Chark. What is it, Chark? Shark?
What is it with you and names?
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. I seen this kid last week. Whatever his name is, he's catching the ball
What
like
do you
crazy.
call Mitch Trubinsky last week? That was the one last week.
You got the mustache guy firing to him. I like it.
Mitch Trubinsky.
Give me DJ Shark.
DJ Shark.
The mustache guy. I want that mustache guy and that shark guy. Yeah.
Minshew to shark. That's what we got today, baby.
We don't speak Big Web on this show. We don't understand.
Everybody will learn by week 16 how to speak Big Web.
As far as daily fantasy, I mean, I had a couple lineups I was looking at.
DFS, take Eckler. I'm telling you, take Eckler.
Even with Melvin Gordon?
They said he was going to play in an emergency situation, so I think that they're going to run Eckler into the ground this week, knowing that they'll have Melvin back next week. And Justin Jackson is hurt and will not play today. So I think his value will be down because Gordon did travel with the team, and there's a little bit unknown there. I think you can get some good value out of him today.
I like Deshaun Watson and obviously Hopkins as well to go off today. I think they're going to be studs, and Carolina's going to get roasted. They screwed me last week in a bad way. Just a terrible game for Arizona. But I think the Houston's going to kind of put them down. That's also going to be a big pick for me later on. That's what we call a little tease in the industry. But, yeah, I love Deshaun Watson and Hopkins.
I got one more for you. Marlon Mack, Indianapolis Colts against the Raiders. He ran for 175 week 1. He was stymied for 2 weeks. Look out. He's back. He's back this week. He's back, Marlon Mack.
All right, so we did get – my brother actually chimed in, said McLaurin is not playing. So I guess he's officially
Paul Richardson.
out.
Go get him.
Paul Richardson right now. He's probably free agent everywhere, I bet. I mean, he's probably in like 10% of leagues right now.
Also signed a fairly lucrative deal, too, when he made the move from Seattle to Washington, which shows you how great that front office is. But, look for him to go off this week.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so there's our fantasy football picks of the week. And, guys, I think it's pretty good picks. I think those are pretty good. Give me one player that I guess would be really cheap in daily fantasy that you would go for this week?
DJ Shark Jr. It's going to be your cost-effective play for week 4.
All right, well, there you go. DJ Shark Jr. I don't even know if he has a son, but there you go. All right, it's time to crown a new king today. I'd like to go ahead and put the music on because obviously this gentleman has had himself a week. Big Web, congratulations. Nick Yale has been dethroned. That actually fits a lot better on his head, too, man. The crowd goes wild for Big Web.
God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for following me. You know, TJ, let me just give a little message to Nick because I know he's listening in the Avalon coming up the highway. Nick, look over to your rearview mirror. You see that where it says objects are closer than they appear? I'm right on your tail, buddy. Look out, Nick. Big Web.
Quick shout out.
Week 3.
We'll give Big Web a chance here, but he is last in the panel at 6-12. We're just going to put that out there. Now we'll move on to his good start last week.
Prize.
Last week he goes 4-1. So people are going, you guys picked 7 games. You're right. Big Web pushes on 2 different occasions. He had Kansas City, which was +5 against Baltimore. It was close all the way through. They push on our top 4 picks, and you locked them. So they pushed twice for you. Nick also won 4 games. He had a chance to go 3 for 3 in the first 3 weeks as king. Goes 4-2, however. A push beats a loss. Dad, you win. You're at your crown counter's at 1. So congratulations.
There's a new king in the palace.
Hey, Big Web, what's your first decree as king?
Well, I say that free beer for Shields.
Free beer for Shields. All right, sounds good. As far as locks go, me and Nick both hit last week. Zook
Did not.
He is now 1-2, and Big Web pushes, so he is still 0-2 in locks. So there you go. That's how it is with locks. Total right now, Nick still leads the panel at 12-7. He was 4-2 last week, as we mentioned. Big Web goes 4-1. He's still in last at 6-12. At 6-12, though,
Here he
Zook
comes.
and myself, Zook goes 2-4 last week. I go 3-3. We are tied at 7-12. So Big Web right behind us.
Objects. Are
What was that?
That was a little ESPN thing. Objects in your mirror are closer than they appear.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling
You already said that.
I've said it again.
Okay. Let's go ahead.
People will learn to speak Big Web within 16 weeks.
That's his real true decree as king. You must learn to speak the language.
We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and try to get Nick Yale on the phone here. So, Dad, you know something about our great sponsors, don't you?
I sure do, T-Web. K. Roberts, Remax Gold. She is best realtor in the city of St. Louis. She's in Fenton. She's in O'Fallon, Missouri, all around St. Louis. K. Roberts, 314-409-4113. Family Finance Mortgage, Sarah Brown, 314-537-1282. She's a fantastic lender.
Greetings.
Sarah Barron, and there's some greetings from Nick. FamilyFinanceMortgage.com.
Gentlemen.
Nick, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Some other great BOTB fans walking in as Nick talks. I'm telling you what, that's not good for us. I shouldn't have told him that because that means right there that Nick's going to say, oh, I bring in everybody if I'm on the phone or in person.
I am. I mean, when I come on the line, people show up. I know I'm not the king this week, so big congrats to Big Web first and foremost
Thank you, Nick.
retaking the crown and wearing it for me. Reserving it for me while I beat your guys' butts this week.
All right. Why'd you clean it up? You always clean it up on the phone. You act like you're on the radio or something.
I mean, it's a family-friendly show on Sunday.
Zook already dropped like 3 F-bombs, so we're past that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Zook's a little bit of a loose cannon, though. So what can you say?
Hey Nick, why aren't you at the show today? I would never miss a show.
I got scared because I knew I was going to be wearing the crown this week, so I decided to take a little vacay,
He's
come
hiding.
down to SEMO.
Don't say vacay. Say the full word, would you?
Hang out a little bit, do some partying and stuff, and let you boys do the heavy lifting this week. So,
fantastic.
I'll get my picks in, but Big Web scared me off because he took the crown from me, and I couldn't bear to come in without wearing the crown.
So in what world did you think that you were going to be here? You said 50-50, and you said you didn't leave Cape till 9:45. So do the math.
Yeah, 50-50 about last night when we showed up to the bar, and then this morning, I woke up at like 9:45, 10. I'm not going to be there. Sorry.
That's tough. Okay. Well,
Nick, how's the Avalon running, man? And there you go. Car report.
Nick, are you there? Hello?
I'm here. It's a little tough to hear you guys, though.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so let's move into the picks. We do have our top 4 games, boys, and then we'll also go to the Toilet Bowl game as always. We'll also go to our underdog pick of the week and our locks of the week. As we mentioned, Nick and myself are both 3-0 on locks. Gentlemen, we start out the first game, if I can find my place, the big one. Kansas City at the Detroit Lions. And I'm going to go ahead and find you an updated spread. It was +5 the last time I saw for the Detroit Lions. The question is, Matthew Stafford is questionable.
That was +7. Oh, did it drop to +5?
It might have gone up. That's the thing. It might have gone up. So I'm going to go ahead and check into it. But Matthew Stafford, a little banged up coming into this week. Detroit is +7 now, so that is official. +7, according to oddshark.com. We'll start with Nick. Nick, what do you think Detroit getting 7 against Kansas City?
Well, last week, I wasn't high on Kansas City, and I went against him, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. I think we pushed on that game last week, if I'm correct.
Yes, we
on
did.
Kansas City.
Correct.
So we did. But I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be too much. That offense is the best in the NFL by far, and Kansas City is my Super Bowl winner pick. So I'm going to go Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs here, even though it's -7 for Kansas City. I think they'll cover.
All right, Zach Zook.
I like Kansas City as well. You look at Matthew Stafford banged up with the hip. They said this is as close, I think, as he's been to not going. Clearly not healthy. You know my opinion on Detroit, TJ. I know that's your squad, and they've had a great start, 2-0-1. So this is certainly a game to watch. But I think it actually works against the Lions a little bit that they've had such a good start to the season, because I think maybe this is a spot where Kansas City would maybe overlook Detroit. But since they're 2-0-1, I think there's something when you come in and you tell your team, look, they're undefeated right now. Mm-hmm. So you have to take them very, very seriously. So I think they're going to get the Chiefs' best. That team in Kansas City was meant to play indoors on turf with the speed of that offense. I think it's going to be too much, and especially our fantasy football guy said that Darius Slay's a little banged up too. That's not good.
Big Web?
Zook, you were all over it, buddy. I tell you what, I was thinking about Detroit hard, especially in a teaser type scenario, getting like 2 touchdowns. I thought that was very exciting until I seen this stat. Patrick Mahomes is playing indoors for the first time since November 25th, 2016 at Texas Tech, where Mahomes threw for 586 yards and 6 touchdown passes.
That is college.
It doesn't matter. It's an indoor. It's his first indoor game since that football game right there, ladies and gentlemen. Take the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to cover.
Well, you know who else plays indoors whenever they're at home? The Detroit Lions. I'm going with the Lions. This is exactly what I wanted. Everybody's got the Chiefs. I am sitting here with Matthew Stafford's jersey on. The guy's fine. I've seen him with a separated shoulder finish a game during his rookie season. Take him down the field. He doesn't care. He's going to be fine. The hip's fine. He doesn't throw with his damn hip. The Lions are going to win this game.
Lose by 20.
Why do you want to ruin your anniversary like that?
It's a beautiful pick. It couldn't be a better pick.
They're going to lose by 20.
Watch this right here. Clip this part. Everybody giving me shit when the Lions win this game outright and they're getting 7 points. That's
Good
it.
luck.
That's what's going to happen.
You better be in a good mood.
You got to pick one to get the King's crown. So you got to be different.
It wasn't about that. I think they're going to win the game. You can all apologize to me next week. That's it.
You better not be in a bad mood when you take your wife out to dinner.
Because they're going to win the game. Okay, let's move on. So, God, I love the fact you guys took Kansas City. New England at the Buffalo Bills. Now, this one is interesting because the Bills are getting 7 points at home against the big bad Patriots. But the Buffalo Bills have shocked some people so far. They've been pretty good, Dad. I don't know. Pretty good.
You all right?
Nick, what do you got? I'm sorry, I got some helium.
All right, well, I mean, when you like somebody, and I'm a Patriots guy this year. Tom Brady, touchdown Tom. Everybody's been hyping up the Bills, the undefeated Buffalo Bills. Big test for them at home with the Bills Mafia. Bam! Tom Brady's going to come in there and kick their ass.
It's like Emerald, like the cook. Bam! And he throws like an ingredient in.
I got the Patriots.
Zook?
Is it so? It's right around a touchdown, isn't it?
It is at 7. Currently
It's
at
at 7?
Yep, plus 7.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, baby. Give me Josh Allen and Buffalo to, at the very least, push this. It's going to be a tight game. Wouldn't be surprised to see him win it outright. We haven't seen the September Patriots that we've typically seen in years past. This is a road test. It is this home opener for Buffalo?
I think it's snowing.
There's going to be people flying on the top of tables from minivans. There will be people drunk. There's people that have started drinking probably like 4 hours ago. They're going to be absolutely hammered for this game. They don't do well in summer weather, but they are going to be ready for this one. It's going to be rowdy up there, and I like Josh Allen. He's going to be moving around, throwing darts, slinging it all over the field. Give me Buffalo.
Big Web?
TJ, we got 2 3-0 teams here. You got the New England Patriots with talent up here, 3-0, and you also got the Buffalo Bills 3-0 with talent down here.
Wow.
There's going to be enough. New England's going to do enough. How you doing, Mike? New England's going to do enough to get this thing done and covered. Give me the Patriots.
You know what? I went back and forth on this game, but I'm with Zook. Give me the Buffalo Bills, baby. This is going to be a good one. We are split
Bills
on
Mafia.
this game. Bills Mafia. I think that Tommy Boy's going to have some trouble here in the first half. Josh Allen's a little bit better than people think, and I don't think the Patriots defense is as good as people think. So give me the Bills plus 7. God, I love it. I mean, we're all split. Last week it was all, we're all together. That's no fun. That sucks. I hate being with you guys. I like being separate. It's fun. It's a lot more fun. So there you go. Me and Zook with the Bills and I almost said Dad and Big Web. Nick and Big Web with the Patriots. That'll be a fun one. Let's see. Let's move on. Another big-time game, Cleveland at the Baltimore Ravens. So Cleveland is getting 7 points. It started at 3. It's now 7. Your thoughts?
Yeah. God, people are just on the hype train for Cleveland to rebound here and getting that many points. I mean, Baltimore, though, Lamar Jackson, going to be too much offense for them in this one. I'm very intrigued by this one because Cleveland's defense and Myles Garrett against Lamar Jackson, that Baltimore offense is going to be a great matchup to watch, and that very well may help Cleveland cover, but I'm still going Baltimore here.
Zook?
I think the Browns rebound here. I like the Browns. I did the Ravens last week for PFF. I did the Ravens Kansas City Chiefs game for Pro Football Focus. And one thing I noticed, I think there's been a lot of hollow yardage in pass completions for Lamar Jackson. I still don't buy him. There were so many instances in that game where they just ran everybody down the field and he just kind of ran around in the pocket, ran a couple circles, and then just threw it to somebody randomly down the field and got pretty lucky. He did not have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Ravens defense is really good and should be able to continue to slow down Baker. I think it'll be an ugly AFC North game, but I like the Browns to at least cover this spread. I actually like them to win the game outright too.
Big Web?
Zook, Lamar Jackson is for real. He's got it going on, absolutely. Their defense is very, very strong. Cleveland has too many holes. Give me Baltimore.
I had Baltimore written down. I was still thinking about it at 3. Zook's has had a rough go. He's had a rough go, so it scares me to go with him. But I'm taking the Browns. I'm taking the Browns
there you go,
as well.
TJ. Hop on the wagon. It's turning around this week.
I think Mark Ingram's going to have 2 touchdowns on the ground. He's just a bull, man. He's so good, and the Cleveland defense has holes. But I think 7 points. I think I could see Baltimore going up by 14. Browns in the fourth quarter, a late comeback will kind of get them within range. So give me the Browns. Again, we're split, baby. Rams, or I should say, me and Zook both have the Browns. Ravens going for Nick and Big Web. This is going to be a fun week.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on, we got Minnesota at Chicago, the big game at Soldier Field in this one. Let's see. It was at 3 last time I looked. It's actually
like, 1 or 2.
It's at 1 now.
Yeah.
It is a pick'em. Chicago -1. What do you guys got?
It's 1.5.
It's just 1.
It's just 1.
Yeah, literally a pick'em.
Home game. Bears defense. Give me the Bears.
Okay, short and sweet.
Yeah, I like that pick, Nick. It's
Picnic.
It's
Picnic, nice.
Put that in your language, Big Web.
I tell you, got it.
I was on the Vikings at first in this just because of the underdog scenario. The team, whoever wins this, will be tied for the division lead. The NFC North's been the best division in the NFL so far through the first month of the season. But then the more I think about it, I just realized then, well, Kirk Cousins has to score points on the Bears defense for them to win.
Correct.
And I don't think it's going to happen. Even with Akeem Hicks out, I think they will be able to run the football a little bit, but they have really relied on the success of Dalvin Cook throughout the first month of the season, and I think the Bears will be able to take that away fairly easily. Their personnel on defense is just so much better, and the Vikings defense is getting a little older. They're not quite as good. They both have their issues on offense, but when you looked at the way the games turned out last year, the Bears just suffocated them. So I like Chicago.
Dad?
The Bears are my Achilles heel this year. I think Cook's going to be able to trudge through a bit and get some offense going slightly. I'm not saying this is going to be a big blowout, but give me Minnesota here.
Wow, that's a change. Is that last-minute change?
Yep.
Okay.
Last-minute changes.
Love to see it.
That's why the show's on Sunday.
Well, that helps me with getting the lower thirds. I'm going to go ahead and take Chicago as well. I hate to put Big Web out on an island there. No, we've been split everywhere, but I was just already ready to go with the Bears -3, and now it's -1. I think this is a no-brainer. It's going to be a good game back and forth, but Chicago's going to win this game. I'd be shocked because I can see Kirk Cousins being the normal Kirk Cousins in Chicago. He's going to freak out. He's going to have a bad half. And Chicago's offense showed that they're back last week. So I'm curious to see what Mitch does.
Point spread's moving in Minnesota's direction. We'll see.
Well, I mean, not exactly. I mean, because they were +3. Now they're +1. You mean like as in, the line makers like them. I'm saying like that's as a Bears better. I like the fact that it's now -1.
I just mean that Vegas likes them.
Right. Yeah. Well, it'll be fun, but the fact that it's in Soldier Field, I think it's a no-brainer. All right, so me, Zook, and Nick all have the Bears. Big Web has the Minnesota Vikings. All right, guys, so that's our top 4 picks, top 4 games picked. We now move on to the Toilet Bowl game of the week, the Washington Redskins at the New York Giants. The Redskins are +3 on the road. Nick, what do you got?
I loved what I saw out of Daniel Jones last week, and I love what I'm going to see this week out of Daniel Jones. It's going to be a lot of touchdowns to Sterling Shepard. I don't know what we were talking about on fantasy, but Sterling Shepard, if you're looking for a last-minute waiver wire, go grab him because touchdowns from Daniel Jones all day long today, baby. Give me the Giants.
Look.
I like the Giants too. This truly embodies the spirit of the Toilet Bowl and what we set out to accomplish with this. But yeah, give me the Giants in this game. I think that maybe you've had a little overreaction to just how bad the Redskins have been. They're not, the Dolphins, but I still don't see.
But they're not great.
I still don't see them beating the Giants. No way.
Big Web.
Washington's O-line is now in shambles, TJ. Keenum was in a walking boot on Wednesday morning. They say he's still going to start. There was some talk this week about Colt McCoy even going in at some point. He's back from his injury. And what the hell is going on with Haskins? They're 0-3 football team. Should they take a chance on Haskins? They're holding out and not using him. I think the reason they're not using him because the O-line is so bad, they don't want to get the kid injured. It's interesting up there in Washington.
Rare smart move from Washington.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got the guy fighting for his job. Gruden's fighting for his job. I'd start everybody. You kidding me?
Yeah, for sure.
But no, he's looking for the longevity of the team, and you got to take the Giants at this point in this football game, especially what Jones did last week.
I'm going to throw out a crazy pick. I'm taking the Redskins. I don't know. I don't really know why. It's a reason. I got that gut feeling that the Giants now that Saquon's out. You got Gallman in there. They're still a running football team. Jones had 1 week. We're all putting him up there like he's a Hall of Famer already. I feel like a game like this is almost a trap game for the Giants. We always sit there, and if the Giants last year with Odell and Saquon had a huge game 1 week, next week they had all these weapons and couldn't get shit done. I got the Redskins +3. It's a game that's going to be close. I don't really care about it, but something tells me the Giants are going to blow this. I really do.
Laura, have a good dinner tonight because TJ's going to be really pissed off.
And we'll save this again to play next week when the Lions win and the Redskins win. So
nope.
There we go. I like this. I like the fact that it's back and forth. You guys are trusting the Giants so much.
No,
I mean without Saquon too, by the way. So
I don't hate it. One game, and they should have lost if the Tampa could have kicked a 31-yarder.
Yeah.
But I did pick the Giants. I still like the Giants. I'm with Nick. But if you look at the personnel for the Redskins, it's not as bad as their performance on the field would lead you to indicate. They have Josh Norman and Landon Collins in that secondary and Ryan Kerrigan coming off the edge. It's not as garbage as you would think.
For sure. And they still have, again, Chris Thompson knows how to catch the ball out of the backfield. They move the ball with him. Keenum's always like a pest, too. When you pick against Keenum, he finds a way. And that's the thing. Daniel Jones has a lot of pressure in this game for you guys.
And
nobody really cares. That's why it's a toilet bowl game. Nobody cares about it. But something tells me the Giants are going to blow it because they always do. So that's what I think.
We'll see.
All right, guys. I need your underdog picks. Nick, you are first.
2 words, boys. Minshew mania. It is the Jagwagons' time. Saxonville is back. Lock it down. Jacksonville's going to win this one easy.
Okay, they are getting 2.5. You know who they're playing? It's Denver. They're playing Denver.
He knows that.
Okay, he does. I don't think he can hear me. All right, Zook, what do you got?
All right, for my underdog, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road at the LA Coliseum.
Wow.
It's 9.5, I believe.
It's currently at 9 on OddsShark.
Currently at 9. I'd rather it be 10, but fine. 9. I think
They're
that
gonna get torched.
The Rams, I know.
They are going to get torched. Tampa Bay is going to get torched so bad.
Tampa Bay is the king of the backdoor cover.
gonna be a
Even if they're down
blowout.
21.5, they will find a way to cover this. Clip this off, too, when Tampa Bay comes back
Please,
and
save
covers
it.
this. I think there's a decent chance, not a great chance, not even a better than 50% chance, but a decent chance that they even pull off an upset and win the game.
Oh
So
my God.
I know that that's a little outrageous, but I do like them to cover 9. The Rams, while they are 3-0, haven't looked that great while doing it. Now they are at home, but Tampa Bay, I don't know, something about they feel a little frisky to me today.
Dad.
Wow. All right. I am with Nick. I love Jacksonville today, plus the points. Let me tell you a little something. Minshew, that's my guy.
Minshew.
Has 0 interceptions so far this year. This guy was smart last week with taking sacks and not throwing the ball away. Denver's D-line has 0 sacks this year so far.
Bingo.
Denver's O-line gave up 6 sacks just last week. Flacco's going to have trouble. Saxonville all day long.
I'm doubling down on my Detroit Lions. I'm taking them +7 for my underdog pick. I mean,
Wow.
getting 7 points at home. Stafford again.
Gotta take
He
some
doesn't.
risks, baby.
He
Gotta
doesn't.
take some risks.
He doesn't throw the football with his hip. He's not a mobile quarterback. He's going to be fine. Mahomes again will be. It's going to be a shootout. I mean, this is back and forth. 7 points is too much. I think it's going to be a close game. But I got the Lions +7. I think it's going to be a good one over there in Ford Field. So should be fun. Okay, guys. Last one. The locks of the week. What do you think?
I am going with the mortgage on Atlanta.
Oh my
At home.
God.
Atlanta at home. I got them in pick 4. I got them in lock of the week. I got them in survival. I'm putting everything on Atlanta. So if Atlanta screws me,
They
I will
will.
be not a happy camper. But I'm throwing everything on Atlanta this week.
I've been down that road too many times. It's
Nick,
been
I
I
actually-
too
know,
many
I know.
times.
We all have. This year,
Yeah.
Atlanta has screwed us, but I'm trusting Atlanta and Matt Ryan at home.
They are -3 at home against the Tennessee
Oh, they're
Titans.
-3 now. They
Yeah.
were -3.5.
They are
That's
minus
nice.
-3 right now, but against Tennessee, who is the team that will always screw you every week
Well,
if you pick against them for
I
some
will-
reason.
I will say this. I saw on the TVs when they're warming up, Atlanta is in the black jersey throwbacks. They don't lose in those. They don't. They don't.
Zook,
For my lock, sorry.
you're good.
I'm taking the Houston Texans. I need to get the locks rolling a little bit here. I think the
Yeah, you're
overreaction to the Panthers. It's a long season, Yale.
You're shucking, dude. I mean,
But-
you gotta make some picks. Yeah, I've already got the kingship twice. Come on,
Yeah, that's
don't worry.
true.
You're supposed to be the smart
you know,
one.
this is actually kind of nice. I can just turn Nick off. This is kind of cool. I can just turn him off. Hello, Nick. Are you there? Yep. See ya. Okay.
Oh,
I think it's interesting. He's been his most feisty when he is on the road.
Oh yeah, when he can't look in the
Uh-huh.
face. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a big tough guy over
I
No,
there.
should
but
have FaceTimed in. You guys could have put me up on the screen.
I could have done that. Yeah.
That would have been funny. Well, no, Nick, you're right. I needed to get going on my locks, and that's why I like the Texans this week. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I've been slow to buy into Houston as a ball club, but I think that they're going to be able to get it done. It's 5.5. They should be able to cover that against the Panthers at home. I think the Panthers are still really, really bad. Despite what Kyle Allen showed last week, I think there's been a little bit of an overreaction there. I like the Texans.
Dead.
I was this close to taking Jacksonville for the dog and the lock of the week. This close. But
Big spender.
with the indoor situation with Patrick Mahomes
Oh,
going
baby.
up to Detroit, I think he's going to
Oh.
set records up there today, baby. Give
Bet
me
against
Kansas
TJ.
City. Give me Kansas City as the lock, and he's going to do so well up there. Kansas City's going to build a dome.
You know, people might call me crazy for trying to triple down on a team.
Do it.
I'm
Do
not.
it.
I'm not doing it.
won't
I'm
do
taking
it.
the
You won't
Houston
do it.
Texans. I really like the Texans. It scares me that Zook loves the Texans. No offense, Zook. We got to get you going this week, baby. We got to get you going.
I finally just started going out on a limb and doing some crazy picks. I think it's
yeah.
going to help me out.
I am going to take the Houston Texans -5.5. I think they will roll today. I hope they will. They play the Carolina Panthers. Again, it's this hype that they give these backup quarterbacks after 1 week. I think Daniel Jones is for real. Do I think he's going to have a week like he did last week? No. In this case, though, you have Kyle Allen in for, I believe Cam is out. Correct. He's supposed to be out. He
He's
was
out.
out.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's out.
That bases a lot of this pick on that. Kyle Allen, I think he will struggle. I don't think he's anything for real like he showed last week. So give me the Texans -5.5 for for my lock of the week. So, gentlemen, there's our picks. The last thing we have is something very important. Big Web's best bet of the week. Dad, you've been on fire right now. What is the profit that you've given our listeners so far?
TJ, last week we hit the 4-team teaser, Packers, Lions, Chiefs, Ravens over, and the Vikings. We bet $50. It collected $100, so we were $100 up there. Plus, we were $45 up for the year, so that put us at $145. Then in the afternoon last week, we also hit some additional teams. We added the Chiefs and the Rams on a 6-team teaser. That $50 bet collected $250. So right now, we are up $395 for the $50 bet.
Oh, wow. All right. There you go.
We got a couple more for you this week, ladies and gentlemen. Now listen closely. The teaser, the NFL, how many times have you watched a football game and, oh, man, it landed right on the number. Those guys are so close. Those guys are so good. That's why we take advantage of the teaser. Take the 7 points. That 7 points or 6.5 or whatever you want to put in there. Have it help you. Here's where it's going to help us today. We got a 4-way 7-point teaser, TJ. We got the Giants plus 4.5. These spreads might be a little off because of what you got going on, but these are close. Giants plus 4.5. Ravens plus 0.5. All you got to do is win a football game, Ravens. Pats minus 0.5. All they got to do is win a football game. You kidding me? The New England Patriots. And the Cowboys plus the 3.5 points. $50 get you $100 on that one.
Okay.
I got one more. We're going to take those same teams I just mentioned. We're going to add 3 more plays. The Jaguars plus 9.5. Kansas City plus 0.5. Just got to win a football game. And the Rams minus 2.5, which is less than a field goal. Add those 3. 50 gets you $400 profit. Those are our 2 teaser plays for today. Big Web's on fire. Jump on board.
All right, there you go, gentlemen and ladies out there listening and watching. Giants plus 4.5, Ravens plus 0.5, Patriots minus 0.5, Cowboys plus 3.5, $50 wins you $100. And then those same 4 teams I just said, you add in the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 9.5, Kansas City minus 0.5, and the Rams minus 2.5, $50 gets you $400. And Big Web's been on fire. We mentioned you're over almost $400 profit in just 3 weeks.
On a heater, baby, on a heater.
On a heater. So follow Big Web to just keep going. Just follow his coattails all the way to the end. All the way to the bank, baby. All the way to the bank. All right, gentlemen, again, great job today. Appreciate you all coming in here on Sundays, of course, getting up early. And Big Web for helping me set up the nice setup we have here because Nick got drunk in Cape last night, so he couldn't help out today.
I'm a roadie.
Yep.
Nick, thank you, sir. Appreciate you calling in.
Suck it, Nick. You're going to lose today.
Absolutely, boys.
Drive
Thanks
safely.
for helping set up, guys. Appreciate it. See you next week.
All right, see you,
Peace.
Nick. All right, guys, that'll do it for Nick, for Big Web, for Zook. I'm TJ Weber. Shout out one more time to our great sponsors, Cafe Telegraph, 2650 Telegraph Road, K. Roberts from Remax Gold, Family Finance Mortgage, and St. Louis Distillery. Thank you for everybody that came out here as well. This has been the BOTB Football Show. We'll see you guys next week. Good luck.
All right. Wow. A hand.